Yo, Shannon Macon. Welcome back to the Rocket Game Corner. Today I have quite a fat stack of games to try to quickly get through with you here today as we talk through my Switch collection. Now, comparatively, it's quite a small collection to what a lot of people have for their Switch, or a lot of collectors, because there just are so many absolute bangers from this console as we head into possibly the next iteration of it. I'm going to do whatever I can to sort of like facilitate this, speed this up. I've got videos about certain games in there and whatever, and I'll just link to that. And then otherwise I'll just give general impression, yay or nay. So, start things off. We've been very blessed with the Switch with 4 generations of Pokemon games. I've talked about all of these and given impressions on them in another video, which I'll link below, which is just a tier list of all the Pokemon games, all the Pokemon generations, and their remakes. Legend Arceus was also included in there. I'm not a fan of this game, as I did say, but I did go back and replay a fair chunk of it. You know, I put a good few hours into it earlier this year as I tried to fill out the Pokédex, which I do think is pretty much the only thing this game got right. Right, but we were blessed with a couple of other really great games that were Pokemon themed on the Switch. So the first I'm going to pull out here is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I mean, I never actually... Well, I did actually, that's not true. I played the original version, of which this is a remake of, and it plays much the same. There's not much to say about it, really. If you liked it before, you'll like it now. The graphical fidelity, though, or like how much they've improved the quality of the graphics in this, it really is... I mean, you can see it there. Like, it's a really gorgeous looking game. And yeah, good enough reason to play it for that alone, I would say. And then finally, new Pokemon Snap. Now this is a game that got a lot of, I would say, unjust criticism. I actually think that this did everything the first game did perfectly, and did more and more besides. Yeah, it was a truly phenomenal progression from the original, and when I have heard people say like, oh, it's just not the same, like, have you gone back and replayed the original Pokemon Snap? Like, I don't know what you think it is. It's quite a small game. It's a great game, I love it. The only thing this is missing actually is Bravo in a Safari outfit. But other than that, yeah, it's a really solid next game in the series. And yeah, I wish more people would give it a sincere chance. Now, moving on. Not a console exclusive. You'll find that for quite a few of my Switch collection, because it is the only modern gen console that I have. So, yeah, quite a few of them are. It'd be my only way to sort of play like the latest games. But this is, or was very much recommended to me, the Banner Saga trilogy, as like basically someone whose opinion I respect very much. They were like, this is my game of the year. And it seems fine, to be honest. So it's an, how do you describe it? It's like a turn-based, like Fire Emblem. It's like a turn-based like strategy kind of RPG kind of thing, like tactical kind of like, you got a grid and you sort of move about and attack and all that kind of stuff. And it seems totally fine. The story is apparently amazing. You can see you've got all 3 here. Now apparently the decisions that you make, even in very nuanced ways, are persistent throughout all 3 games. So that's really impressive. But I couldn't get into it after putting in a few hours, and I would like to go back, and I do intend to go back and give this a truly fair shot. But I just found that it had way too much like specific language to it that was difficult to sort of parse, and it was difficult to sort of like understand what was being said a lot of the time. which obviously it made getting engaged and invested quite difficult. But the gameplay itself, it seemed totally adequate, and like I said, I would like to see what all the hubbub was about. So another game here that has been quite overlooked, quite underestimated. I don't want to say too much because I have actually wrote a script about this video, and I just need to record the gameplay footage, and then I'll release it. But this is a game you'll find for way cheaper than it deserves to be. And yeah, no, I reckon I go out. I'm picking up a copy right now because again, it's a JRPG. Square Enix, not quite as heavy a price tag to it as Atlas games, but you can certainly. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a markup in the future, just based on typical market trends. So the next game, Crypt of the Necrodancer, Cadence of Hyrule. This game is really hard, much like the original Crypt of the Necrodancer. I would say that in some respects it's a little bit easier, for me at least, as someone who is so familiar with the soundtrack of the Zelda games, that I don't know, I guess it kind of just like feels more intuitive. But yeah, it's a super hard game. I haven't even beat it, and it's quite a short game from my understanding. But yeah, I really do want to go back one of these days and actually go back and finish this, because this, you could see just like how much love and affection and attention was put into this, and it really does deserve the credit. It is, again, it's not an expensive game. It does feel a little expensive for an indie title, but you know, again, it's worth it. There's no doubt about it. Right, so another one that is not an exclusive is Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Lucy's Age. This is the definitive edition, which might actually be exclusive. I think I've heard that like this 2D version isn't on the other versions, for example. I love this game. This was going to be my game of the year, like last year or the year before, I forget when I played it. And I played it in like February of that year, and it was the best game I played all year until December when I played another game we'll talk about later. I mentioned it before, but it was Shin Megami Tensei 3, and that's become one of the greatest games of all time for me. This still kind of is, but this is still just like this doesn't like sort of crack the top 10 for me, but I still think it's a truly fantastic game. So much fun. It's a very boilerplate JRPG, but that's kind of because the Dragon Quest series has always been boilerplate. Like, I mean, effectively it almost like defined the genre in a sense, but then whereas other publishers and developers became more about like, well, what gimmicks can we apply, and what new ways can we take can we take this genre. Dragon Quest was always like, no, we've got a firm idea of what we want, and we're just going to keep iterating on it and iterating on it and iterating on it, and just getting better and better at making it. And they really did get so good at making it on this particular game. Now, Dragon Quest Builders 2, a lot of people really like, and I don't. And I played most of it. Really forced myself to grind through it, because I never really played Minecraft. I don't really get it. I find it hard to like create my own fun. Like, I feel like that's why we have game designers to like design the game for us. And so I thought, you know, okay, this seems like Minecraft, but with, you know, it gives you direction, it gives you purpose. The thing that I really dislike about this game, though, is that it is super padded. Like, it'll say, okay, go do this about 3 times in a row with like really slow cutscenes. You can tell that it's kind of trying to communicate with children, in its choice of language and stuff like that, so that might be why, but it was very, very frustrating, and well, again, I just felt disrespect for my time. I felt very padded, and also, to be honest, I just didn't actually find it that much fun, even when I was left to just like make a house or whatever, you know. Maybe these kind of games just aren't for me, but I don't know, generally I kind of enjoy like farming sims and stuff like that for a little bit of time at least, but this, man, I didn't enjoy it one bit. That's not true, I enjoyed a little bit, but yeah, not as much as other people apparently. Fire Emblem Engage. So again, I have already done a little review on this, so I will pop a link in the description. Now, this is my only limited run game. It's Flashback, the 25th anniversary edition, and the game kind of sucks in my opinion. It was apparently quite a technical marvel and masterpiece when it first released, well, now over 25 years ago. Playing it though, I was like, man, these controls are very jank. And I appreciate they probably didn't want to touch it up for an anniversary edition specifically, as opposed to like a remake or what have you. But I feel like they could have perhaps, I don't know, put like two versions of the game in, like one where they smoothed out the edges, and another which is just, you know, absolutely 100% authentic to the original. I will say the inclusions are not amazing. Like I said, you get this steel case which is styled after a cartridge. That's okay. That's about it really. Okay, you get a game manual. You don't get those anymore on Switches, so I guess that's nice. But again, a digital soundtrack, numbered metal card. I don't find these particularly impressive inclusions. But I did get it for like super cheap. I paid like $5 or something for it, so I don't know. It was still, I don't know, it was a normal to find limited run game out in the wild, so I was kind of just pleased just to get it for that reason, I guess. Yeah, actually I have already done a video on this one as well, which was something that I really, really want people to check out because I put a lot of effort into that particular video. I made it in the style of a VN, and like I said, I made it in a game engine and then just like recorded the executable of the game effectively, I guess. It would be a generous description of it. I put a heck of a lot of work into that. And yeah, it'd be nice if people checked it out. I'll link that below. Other than that though, as I said in the video, like I've got a lot of problems with this game. When it comes to the game itself though, how should I put it? I've got a lot of problems with like Ubisoft and their aggressive marketing within a game after you've already purchased the game. I mean, heck, one of the points I raised on opening it is like the first thing you'll see on opening it is a season pass advertisement. Like, I haven't even put the cartridge in yet, you know. Like, but anyway, like I won't keep going on about it. Like I said, we're already like 15 minutes in, and we are not very far through the stack games, but it's all right. The game, it's not amazing. It's not anywhere near as good as the game it's clearly trying to ape, but yeah, I had fun with it. I do kind of want to maybe go back sometime and just do like a little bit more of the side content. Like it was enjoyable enough. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Now I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts guy, as you probably know from some of my videos, so yeah, I'm pretty happy to pick this up. I got it, you could tell. I remember when it came out, like it initially launched like 50 quid or something like that, and then within like 2 weeks dropped down to like 25, and you can pick it up now for like next to nothing, because they knew that basically there was one market, there was one opportunity to sell this game, and they needed to just capitalize on those weebs immediately. So yeah, you can get this pretty cheap. I got it fairly cheap. I think I paid it again. I think I waited long enough for it to get that first big price drop. But I couldn't hold back my weebishness either. So yeah, it's not an amazing game in terms of well, being a rhythm game, right? It's fine. You know, at the end of the day, it's not Guitar Hero or anything like that, so you know, it's pretty limited in what it can be. But you know, we're talking about music here from, you know, the Kingdom Hearts games, which have absolute bangers. And if I remember right, and this image certainly seems to suggest it, you're going to be playing some Disney tracks in there as well, which again, a lot of great music to its credit. Okay, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I love this game, as a lot of people did. I got like 95% now or something. I need to go back and just plug away for that last 5%, and I would be very happy to do so, because this game is just brilliant. Truly a masterpiece. I'll tell you what it does great. There's something that a lot of the Kirby platformers does wrong. Is you got this puffball here, and you can expand him, and you can fly with him across the level, and everything to do with the game is on the bottom track. Including all the enemies to interact and dangers to interact with, all the powers to absorb, they're all down here. But from your base mode, you can kind of, if you chose to, is just inhale and puff and just fly to the end of the level. And yeah, this took that option away from you, and yeah, it was great. It was great for it. Yeah, the copy abilities are great. Graphics are pretty damn good. Again, it's not the best looking game even for the Switch, but you can really, it's one of those games that makes you say, like, look man, do you really need like amazing quality graphics to not to have, like how do I put it, like how many pixels do you really need to be on screen to have a good looking game, right? I will say that again, this gets a free pass in criticism that isn't applied to other games, which is unfair. Again, like Pokemon, for example, you'll often hear about like lack of animations in far-drawn enemies, like their frame rate is just chugging and stuff like that. No one made a fuss about that in this game. Funny that. You know, people can be very biased. This is a good example of that, but that's not the game's fault. This game, as I said, it's great. It's great at what it does. Now, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. This is good. I remember I left a review on this for the Nintendo store, where they just candidly asked me, like, would you recommend this game to someone? And the gist of what I wrote was, I would recommend this as a game. I would not recommend this as like someone's first Zelda game, even though I think canonically, if I remember right, it is first in the story. Although, yeah, there's, I think the only thing canonically preceding it is like a little manga or a little comic strip in the Hyrule Encyclopedia. I forget what that's called. Hyrule Story or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, it's a perfectly enjoyable game. I think it was quite a lazy remake, if I'm honest, and when people talk about like the reasons to buy it, they're small in number and I would say small in quality. The motion controls are slightly better in this than they were in the Wii, and it is preferable to now only have the button only version. That's about it. Yeah, like I said, I'd recommend playing it if you haven't played it, but there are far better other Zelda games out there. And again, like, there are so many great Zelda games, so it could be hard to like pick which is best out of like the top, say, 3. Skyward Sword sits quite comfortably at the bottom. But again, perfectly fine game. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This game was a bit of a sleeper hit for me. I do think that the success that this game got largely happened because it came out at a fairly early into the Switch's life cycle when it didn't have a lot of games. But, and again, would it have had the success that it had otherwise? I don't think so. And frankly, we've kind of seen that with the sequel, which has not been quite as successful as this was, despite the fact that it looks like a better game. But that being said, you know what, this is like a very fun, I won't say very, it's very like passable. It's kind of like eating potato chips, right? Like it's there and it's enjoyable, and yeah, you'll have fun with it. The DLC is a bit more nuanced, so I do recommend getting the full game with the season pass, because they tend to go for about the same price. They both tend to go really cheap, and that is one good thing about it. But it is just an XCOM game that is not as challenging as an XCOM game. And that's about all I've got to say. Look, the battery on my phone is dying, so I think what we're going to have to do is end this here, and we'll do a part 2 once I've charged this up. Okay, bye.